Antwerp 1576. Spanish fury is putting the city to the sword. You intend to stop the atrocities by eliminating the menace. Sicaria is a free game made by third-year students from Breda University. This is Sicaria. Welcome to another edition of the 5 T's of Stealth. Once again, the 5 T's are as follows: tasks, terrain, tools, threats, and tension. Let's do a quick explanation of each. Tasks, or missions and plot, terrain, or level design, tools, or skills and abilities, threats, or enemy design and other obstacles, and finally, tension, or gameplay loop and difficulty. These are what I consider the fundamentals of stealth gaming. So let's discuss the 5 T's of stealth specific to Sicaria. In Sicaria, you play as an engineer named, Sicaria, fighting back against the Spanish during the historical period of the 80 Years' War. In Sicaria, there are 4 missions, all contributing to the main goal of pushing back the Spaniards. When the game starts, the enemy is already hot on your heels, so you must quickly gather your gear and escape before starting your counterattack. Once you are on the offensive, the missions will include retrieving more gear from allies and hunting down people of interest. Mission 1, collect your blade while escaping from the enemy and a burning building. Mission 2, head to the guild and retrieve the vision scanner. Mission 3, infiltrate a heavily guarded location while searching for the whereabouts of Rodrigo, a person of interest. Mission 4, the final mission, sneak into a naval fort at the harbor to eliminate Rodrigo, steal their explosives to destroy their fort and a ship docked nearby. You are immersed in a realistic reconstruction of the city during the 80 Years' War. You feel inside a dangerous urban warfare. Use the city structure to your advantage, explore multiple pathways, and take advantage of the verticality. Sicaria is set in the city of Antwerp back in 1576. The level design present throughout the entire game feels very solid. While the first few missions are more linear, the last really opens up and allows you to play however you see fit, and I can really appreciate that. The level design never feels repetitive, and each location does feel unique, from burning buildings to more open areas. As mentioned on the Steam page, the verticality present throughout this game really opens up your options and makes general traversal feel much better, as there are different paths to take, whether that's climbing up the side of a building or sneaking through the middle. Genuinely very impressed. When discussing tools, Sicaria provides the player with a very authentic stealth experience with a pretty solid variety of tools and options. Present here, as in many stealth games, there is tall grass for you to hide in. There are also many points for you to climb and scale on boxes or on the sides of buildings. You will, of course, be able to sneak up on the enemies and perform a stealth takedown. At the start of the game, this will be bare-handed until you collect your blade. The unarmed takedown is hilarious because it seems to always provide a corpse launch. No idea whether or not that was intentional. General movement feels very solid, although it can feel a bit clunky at times, and you also have additional options such as a dodge roll and the ability to take cover. There are also some pathways throughout the game that are blocked by planks, but you do have the ability to remove them to proceed in that direction. Let's talk distractions. In Sicaria, you have 4 options to affect the guards. You can whistle to draw their attention towards your location, throw bottles to create a distraction, use smoke bombs to cause confusion, or to hide yourself. I typically would just throw the smoke bomb at a guard, causing them to start coughing, and then just run at them for the takedown. And finally, my favorite and what I would consider the most unique: tripping balls. Yes, that is actually what they're called in-game. These are more or less giant marbles that when rolled at a guard will cause them to ragdoll and give you a free kill. Hilarious and effective. Lastly, once acquired in the second mission, you have access to a vision scanner. This is the standard see-through walls to highlight enemies and collectibles. Nothing new, but nice to have and executed pretty well. The only enemies here are your basic enemies. There's nothing unique you have to do to eliminate anyone. The enemy's detection is pretty rough. Their vision takes very long to actually detect you, and even when it does, you can simply hop over a ledge and they immediately start to lose you. Their hearing, on the other hand, is pretty decent. Be careful if you decide to sprint around like crazy. When discussing the guards, there is one major flaw. The enemies in this game do not detect dead bodies, which is a little ridiculous when you start to pile them up. All in all, Sicaria feels like a very solid and authentic stealth experience, even if it is a rather short one, only taking about 30 to 45 minutes to complete, maybe even less. It's not exactly a difficult game, but out of the 4 free games we have discussed thus far, I would say it's probably the most difficult, especially considering that, in my opinion, it is also the most traditional stealth experience. This game is genuinely a great first step as a student project. The gameplay loop does feel rather engaging, and once again, I think it really nails the traditional stealth game of sneak up to the enemy, do a stealth takedown, and continue on with the mission. I think the main problem here, aside from maybe the enemy design, is nothing about the gameplay screams unique. Nothing about this game just stands up in a crowded auditorium and yells, "Look at me! Look at me!" But that's okay. While not unique, it still perfectly captures the essence of what makes the stealth genre addicting. Sicaria isn't going to do anything fancy to blow you away. Its most unique elements lie within the story and the setting, and of course, my favorite, the tripping balls. But again, that is okay, because for fans of the genre, Sicaria does exactly what it needs to do, and while never too difficult, I definitely was engaged and invested throughout my playthroughs. If you consider yourself a fan of the stealth genre, then do yourself a favor and download Sicaria for free today.